That's a tough question.
Sorry, that's my role.
When I found you in the wreckage of that ship, I considered leaving you. I was afraid you could bring trouble to us.
Where did the spark for the story came from, and how did it evolve to get here?
It's 1977, Star Wars came out.
Yeah.
I was 11 years old. That movie, got me to want to make movies. I really wanted to make something that was kind of timeless in its sort of aesthetic and in its design. These guys do an amazing job of grounding it and bringing the sort of reality of the moments so that so the lights don't get turned on too early.
So Zack is preoccupied, sorry Sophia, with the mythology and all of this canon, but really me and Sophia are just there trying to ground it in real human emotion. And so when I say all of those influences are on screen, are there, I kind of only saw them when I watched the movie because I was so preoccupied with real human emotion, and when speaking to every actor being opposite them, it was purely human emotion. Yeah. Situational. Of course, there's an alien there, or there's a gun as big as my car next to me or whatever, but it's just about human emotion, and I think that's where being guided by Zack, was so important. And even though he seems like he's relaxed and fluid on set, he's getting that balance perfect, and I'm grateful for it.
It's a tricky thing, fantasy, because you need the characters and the actors to render it in the most realistic possible way, because you're asking the most of the audience, much more than, it's not a documentary about going to the moon.
You may want to hold on.
All the characters in this movie have very complex pasts. What do you think can be drawn for our own lives?
I guess for myself, I think it's the reminder that all of us have a level of complexity to our past. You seldom find anyone who hasn't been through some level of experience. And also I think it's a reminder that our complexities are what define us, what make us, what give us the opportunity to stand and change and adapt and evolve. It's a testament to our resilience.
To stand for something.
To stand for something, and I think that's one of the biggest core kind of concepts of this movie, to stand for something, even if it's the hardest thing to do, even if it's the antithesis of what you've been doing prior to this. We can always stand for something, and it's always worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like Jeremy said, there's an amazing message at the center of this film, for all it is big and sort of bubblegum in terms of its huge scope and world rendering and really, really sort of just, massively enjoyable entertainment. But underneath, it's sort of underpinned with this incredibly important message that, abdicate your responsibility at your peril. If you, just like Jaimin said, just complacently allow the negative forces of this world to take precedent, to take control, then it's going to be a grim future for all of us. So we should rise up.
Yeah, starts with one person, right? It can start with one person.
Fight for the collective good.
That's a tough question.
Sorry, that's my role.
I think the complexity of Zack's characters, and it's not just, everything that Zack does is complex. Like, the characters, there's always layers upon layers. And if the audience is willing to, put on the critical thinking hat in a lot of ways and just take the ride with the characters, I think you will uncover things about your life. What I love about Gunnar and I love about Mikhail's portrayal of it is I see myself in that character.
What is very special about a project like this is that Zack gets to take the time. He wants to really dive into those backstories of those characters. And if we don't get to all of them in part one, well, maybe we find out in part two.
Absolutely,
we'll see.
Absolutely. No spoilers.
Zack, yesterday we saw the teaser for part 2 of Rebel Moon, but it won't stop there, will it?
It might not. Well, we definitely are ready. we have story that goes quite a bit further. So,
20 years in the making, right?
20 years in the making, 20 years in the shooting, hopefully.
We're gonna have to fight.
Sofia, this movie puts a woman in a badass position and some men in more subservient place. We often see the opposite in sci-fi movies. What do you think about this change in perspective?
I honestly, I do not take it for granted, and I'm so grateful for Zack to have given me that chance, but not only because I'm a woman, but I'm also 40 at the time, and not once did that come into, was there any hesitation? I didn't feel that at all. But I feel it's just rare. You just do not see a woman being put in that position, having that strength, and that to defense, and being the lead of a film. And yeah, that's, I think, yeah, it's important. I think it's important.
You play a badass, but with a great sensibility character. Is that any similar to you yourself?
Oh,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna blush. So.
Absolutely.
There's your
We'll speak for
answer.
this one.
I don't know if I'm as badass, but I'm very sensitive.
I am a child of war. I find warriors to fight with us.
We might stand a chance.
Looking for soldiers for a fight against the mother world.
Has this movie changed the way you see the world in any way?
Diving into this world is like diving into a fantasy, something that is sort of like lets us escape our day-to-day lives. So for me, it's really a project like this, and watching a movie like this is an escape from what we're going through day to day.
I think it also emphasizes community and home and family, and it's just really cool to see those concepts portrayed in such a fantastical way.
And it certainly gave me different views and different viewpoints, because every character in the movie is so different. I go, oh, okay, this is an experience from a character who I maybe don't connect with, that I would not have connected with otherwise, right? And it certainly highlights, in a lot of ways, things that are going on in our world today, right? We've got a lot of the conflict that happens at the beginning of the movie is about food scarcity.
Yeah.
Right? And soldiers needing to be fed, that kind of thing. And so to have this universe, this universal view of an issue, and still have that be an issue within the sci-fi space of it all, we've never seen that before. We've got all this crazy technology, we've got doors that can open by themselves, all these crazy blasters and ways to hurt, other human beings, and to create these wars, but we still are dealing with food scarcity, we're still dealing with the resource issue. Which I think is a very human issue and a very universal one.
Why do you think we are drawn to intergalactic stories?
Because we're all dreamers, we're all romantics, we're all fantasists, and what's more beautiful than imagining a world even bigger and greater than this? I think we all need to escape into something larger than our own problems and our own experiences, and I think lore like this gives us the opportunity to do that.
I'm here to make you an offer. To give you a chance at redemption.
We are beyond redemption.
What about revenge?
We often see a distinction between blockbusters and cult films, and especially when it comes to debating social issues.
Yes.
Do you think movies like Rebel Moon can change the world too?
Oh, for sure. For sure. If you can get the message, if you understand the message, and of course, it's each and everyone's obligation to make sure that we leave this place, in good hands for our kids, for sure.
It's a new age for the universe.